Gluten morning bread buddies, how are we doing? How has your week been? Let me know if there's any peaks of the weeks that you want to share in the comments. I always just love hearing what's going on with you guys, and I'm nosy. I like to see what's happening in other people's lives as well. The other day I went to the house in our village that sells the eggs outside. I brought you along there with a Dinner with Dad episode before, and they had a goose egg. They normally have duck eggs, they normally have hen eggs, but I've never seen them sell a goose egg ever before. It was £2.50 and I was like, I'm buying one of those straight away. And I've just made with it this delicious baked egg. All I did was I got the ramekin and I lined it with some of my wild garlic butter, and then I cracked the goose egg into it, which, by the way, the shell of a goose egg is intense. I had to really go at it with a knife, and I was a bit worried that I'd get loads of like shell debris in. It was fine in the end, but they were intense. Cracked the goose egg in, and then I have some of this tomato sauce by Ottolenghi. Lawrence's mum actually got it for him for a birthday present. She gave him like a bag of load of foodie bits, and that was one of the things in it. And it's this tomato aubergine sauce. Essentially, it's like a pasta sauce. So I dolloped some of that in with it. We also had some black olives in the fridge to use up, so I sliced those up and scattered those in, and then I've topped it with sliced avocado, some crispy chili oil, and it is just such a flavourful and delicious breakfast. I haven't made baked eggs in such a long time, but I fear this is going to be a new breakfast hyperfixation. This is definitely going to be a new breakfast hyperfixation because it's delicious. I've got a full work day today, but we're hosting Breakfast Club again. I'm going to bring you along for it. We've done another theme, and this theme we're doing a bagel bar. Really excited for it. We're going to like put the brown paper over the bar again, and the office managers have bought these like pole plinths, a bit like a kitchen towel kind of like holder. So bought a few of those off Amazon. I'll link them below if they're any good. I don't know what they're going to be like yet. And the idea is that we'll have like all of these bagels stacked on all these poles, various different fillings all laid out, and people can then build their own bagel that they want. The few things that I'm going to do to help prep for it is I thought it'd be really fun to do some interesting whipped soft cheeses and whipped butter to go with it. Tomorrow we're going to go into the office, we'll set it all up, I'll take you guys along with me. It is so much fun doing the breakfast clubs with you. I'm also going to bake something to take in as usual. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. Maybe a cookie of some form. I've got some Katafi pastry left over in the fridge from a job that I did a while back that I really think needs to be used now. So maybe I could do, and I've got some chocolate ganache left over from when we hosted Easter still. It keeps for a really long time. So maybe I could do kind of like a viral Dubai cookie with like Katafi pastry, the ganache, swirl in some pistachio butter. That could be a good idea. Well, I'll have a think of how that can work. Let me also take you down to give you an update on the chickens. Okay, let's see whereabouts they are. We've got a couple of our OGs there already. Oh, they're all here. Okay, so our 3 new ones are there, actually hanging out with the old ones. Hi, ladies. They're so much more confident than our ones. Our ones, we've had them for so long, and even still they'll like run away from us when we try and go close to them. But these ones, they get quite close to us, which is so lovely to see. And the one here, let me flip you around. You can see here, let me try and zoom in. You can see the back end here. It seems to be getting much better. I can actually see the feathers now starting to come through on her base there. I still think there's an element of pecking order going on, but they do seem to be very chill together. They've got so much space here, so I think they're very happy roaming. But the back end of the one whose tail was really raw really seems to be coming through with feathers. Their cones are starting to get a little bit pinker and come a little bit more up. So I think they're doing good. It's really lovely to see. I don't think we've seen any increase in egg production yet. They're still kind of like finding their feet and getting used to being here. But they're so sweet, they just keep on following me around. This one here in particular, she's very confident. Her cone has gone really upright, and I think she's the leader out of those 3 in particular. So I think she could then potentially become top of the pecking order within our current ones. They're just so great. I love their little cooey sounds that they make. Okay, we have 2 eggs. It'll be really nice to see the egg production start to go up, because that means that then they're really happy with where they are. But so far, they're being really confident. They seem very happy. Good additions to our little flock. Right, I'm going to get on with a bit of work now, and then I'll check back in with you at lunchtime when I start prepping things for Breakfast Club. So I'll see you in a bit. We are going to make some cookies. I'm going to do the cookies first, then we'll do all the whipped stuff for the Breakfast Club. I think I'm going to use a recipe by Justine Doran? Justine Snacks. She has a really good cookie recipe, so I think we'll use hers as the base one. And I'm trying to work out if we should do this as a stuffed cookies. When you open it up, there's the taffy and the pistachio and the chocolate in there. I know in my head that that's going to be the best thing. I just know that I'm going to have to make so much of the cookie to be able to accommodate rolling that in. So I'm just procrastinating on doing that essentially, because I just know there'll be a few steps involved. Like I'll have to chill it, they'll be massive. People in the office might then be like, oh, I don't want to have a whole one, but they can cut them in half. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let me find the recipe first. Oh, by the way, this is I don't know if I've showed you guys this, but if you follow me on TikTok, you might have seen this before. I am a big recipe card gal. Whenever I find a recipe, here you go, found the one that I need. Whenever I find a recipe that I like on the interweb, I will write it down, and I just find it's a much better way for me. There's some parts of my life where I'm just really analog, and with recipes, apparently that's it. And I said to Lawrence late last year, oh, I could really do with something to store my recipe cards in, because I just had them in this like big tin IKEA box. So he sourced a vintage recipe card box for me, and then he had this engraved onto it. And it's just, I think it's the best present he's ever got me. So we have all of my recipes in here. I have like a sweet divider, a savoury divider, and then a sourdough divider. And then these are all like ones that I've just ripped out of magazines that I haven't had a chance to test / try and then rewrite onto one of my recipe cards. There you go, that's my recipe card tin holder. For Justine Snacks recipe, I thought we needed eggs for this one, but this is actually eggless. And that's interesting, because I actually have a load of eggs that I do need to use up. Maybe I use a different recipe that uses eggs just to use up the eggs. And there is another recipe that I use all the time that is an egg-based one. So maybe I just use that one. The only reason I need to use up the eggs is because we're going to be going away, and this one's an easy and quick. I've written that on there. Easy and quick. Is there an egg in that one? One large egg. Yeah, fine. We'll go with that one. And that one is a good one as well. I did a recipe test of 3 different cookies with my office, was it about a year ago now? And I think all of them came out pretty high, but I think the Justine Snacks one was better. But this one's still a good one. Right, so we need to cream together butter and sugar first. Okay, I think I'm gonna times the recipe by 4 so that there's definitely enough for everyone in the office. 90 grams of light brown sugar times by 4. This is where you see how bad I am at maths, and I will be getting a calculator out to do that. So that is 360 grams of light brown sugar. Oh, 371, that'll be fine. And then we need 100 grams of granulated sugar, so 400 grams of granulated sugar. Okay, 407, that's more like it. And then we need 113 grams of butter, so that is 452. Tell me that's right. 452. That's 250. And this is softened, salted. I always bake salted. I just prefer it. I like a little bit of a salty edge to bakes. I just personally prefer it. 457. That's fine. I'll get the KitchenAid out, give this a cream together, then we'll add in the dry. That's all creamed together, so we'll do 4 eggs into this, one at a time. I think I've talked about this before, maybe not on here, but definitely on TikTok, but let me show you. My KitchenAid, I've had her for so long, I actually queued up when I worked at the Argos photography studio at the sample sale overnight to secure the one and only KitchenAid that we had in the sample sale. I secured it, I think I got it for something like 60 quid, and I've had her ever since for like 10 years. Love it so much, but there's like a few quirks. There's this pin here, and apparently it's quite common. You guys told me on TikTok that it happens to a lot of yours as well. But this little pin like gradually comes out, especially when I'm like mixing dough, like intense dough. So I just need to give it a nice little bash in every now and then. So to put in all the eggs one at a time, and then I'll come back to you when I put in the dry ingredients. 180 grams, it does say to add in vanilla, but because of all the other flavours that we're going to put in this, I'm going to leave that out. I don't want there to be too much going on. So we need 180 grams of plain flour times by 4, 720. Wow, okay, 720 grams of plain flour, which is definitely not this much. I'm gonna have to go get some from the back stock in the shed. 175. 731, that'll be fine. And then we need half teaspoon of bicarb. That one I can do. That'll be 2 teaspoons of bicarb. And then 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. That'll be 1 teaspoon, I believe. And half a teaspoon of salt. So 4 teaspoons. Wait, no, oh my gosh. 2 teaspoons of salt. Sometimes I do sub out the salt because I'm using salted butter, but there's so much other sweetness going on here that I think it could do with that like extra salt hit. That was the front door, 2 seconds. I have no idea what this is. Let's open this together. So I just took the dispatch note out and now I know what this is. So there is amazing, we're gonna pause on the baking for 2 seconds, I'll put that aside. So there's an amazing Greek olive oil company that I've got such a lovely relationship with. The most amazing Greek olive oil. It's this one here. This is Vendema and it's all shipped directly from Greece and Roti is just so lovely. These little cards I get with any package, especially when it's small businesses, fills my heart with so much joy. I keep everything in a little box, even from like large brands, but these ones from small businesses just mean the world from me. My lovely Hope, no amount of thank yous can reach how truly thankful I am for your help, your great vibe and energy, and all of the love you've shown towards Vendema. You're the sweetest. Congrats on 100k. You absolutely deserve all the happiness and success in the world. Shine bright. Oh my God. That is just... And she's given me a lovely little stock up. It's so... Her stuff is so beautiful. If you're after a beautiful olive oil to give someone, I personally think that if you're giving someone a housewarming gift or a hosting gift, I prefer to do a beautiful bottle of olive oil and maybe a loaf of bread over taking a glass, like a bottle of champagne, and they end up being the same amount. And for small brands like these guys to want to share anything with me just absolutely blows my mind, and I'm so grateful. That is just so sweet. Continue with making these. I'm gonna give them an initial mix by hand so that the flour doesn't go absolutely everywhere, but then I will put it back in the KitchenAid to mix together. I'm just gonna put the tea towel over it a tiny bit to prevent any flour clouds. It's the only thing with my KitchenAid as well. If I was to get a new one, I would definitely get a much bigger one. The amount of times that I'll be baking something en masse for either the office or going down to the warm space, or even just doing a couple of loaves, because if I make a friend a loaf, I'll normally make myself a loaf and vice versa. So I could probably do with considering getting the bigger size. I'm always just so wary of the fact that I don't need it. I don't need to buy another one. This one does work fine, even though life would probably be easier if I had a bigger capacity one. Also, I am very emotionally attached to this one because of how I got it. So I don't think I'd ever want to get rid of it anyway. Okay, that's the dough done. I think I'm gonna put this into the fridge to chill down for a little bit whilst we do the filling. And for the taffy bit, I'm just going to get a pan with a knob of butter in, put that on the heat, just to melt. I have the taffy here. Once that butter's all melted, I'll put that in, toast it off for a few minutes, and then we can mix in. We'll take like half of it and mix in the ganache. I'll put this on the heat as well so that it's not solid anymore. And then I'll be able to do half the taffy mix mixed with this, and the other half I'll mix with pistachio cream. I got this at my local Middle Eastern shop. I'll bring you along one time because that's where I got the taffy as well. It's a treasure trove of amazing things. They have a really good butcher's section as well. If I ever want to get mutton for curries, I'll always go there. And they also have just amazing things like the most delicious labneh. They have, I think it's homemade baklava and like flatbreads. It's such an amazing shop. So we'll go there at some point together. That's where I got this. It's not cheap, it's like £10. And I think you can get this in Costco as well, but that's where I get my one from. Got the melted ganache here, and then my toasted taffy. So yeah, I just put this into the pan with the melted butter. It's all like nice and crispy. So I'll add this. I'm actually going to do all of this into the chocolate, and then I'll just put a dollop of the pistachio cream within it. So we'll create a chocolate taffy center, then put some pistachio on it, and then mold the cookie dough around that. I hope there's not too much chocolate ratio here either. This might actually be the perfect amount, maybe a touch too much, but I don't think that's such a problem. We are going to assemble baking tray, then a bit of the cookie dough. Then I'm going to put a spoonful of the taffy on. I might need a little bit more to build this out. Then a smear of the pistachio cream over the top of that, and then a bit more cookie dough over the top. I feel like this is going to be a chunky and messy cookie, but delicious. I'm going to do this with all of them, and then we're going to bake at 180 for, I'm gonna do like 13 minutes. I think that'll be enough. I should probably chill them, but I can't be bothered. So we're just gonna do the mids. I kind of wanted them to be a little bit more chunky. They flattened out quite a bit, but I think that's because I haven't chilled them down, but they look pretty good. We'll leave them to cool down, then we'll give them a try. They do look quite good here, but I would have wanted them to be a little bit chunkier, I think, but I do think that's down to the fact that I didn't chill them down. Okay, this is the money shot, hopefully. Ish. Could have been a little bit more there with the pistachio, but... Oh, we've got a bit of pistachio there. Yeah, that. I think if I was made of money, I would put more pistachio paste in that, so it's even more pistachio-y. And I actually think it'll probably get better when they cool, because then the taffy and chocolate will set a bit more and become a bit harder. But a little made-up thing, not bad. Everyone in the office will love those. Bake is done, and I'm gonna get on and do some of these whipped bits. I'll get all the stuff out, and then I'll talk you through what I'm doing with it. I just need to show you one of my cats, because she always sleeps on her back, like splayed out, and it's quite a warm day today. She's on the dining table banquette seating right now, and I need to show you her before she moves, because the position she's in is brilliant. She'll always do that, and then she'll like get out of the position that she was in and be like, oh, what? No, I wasn't doing anything. And I think actually Oishi was also in a similar position when I last saw him. Hi, Oishi. Kind of in a bit of a flip there. Are you okay? You're a bit hot today, Oishi. Okay, I'll leave you to it. Right, I think I'm going to do the vegan one first, because then there's like less risk of cross-contamination with everything. And I do make this like super clear to all of the team that my kitchen is not a professional one, and there's always a risk of cross-contamination. So I'm just very wary. I try and keep everything really separate when I do bring stuff into the office versus things that are shop bought, so that people who do have high allergens are less at risk, but people are really aware. The vegan one is going to be a whipped tofu. I've got some roasted beetroot here. I'm going to put, these are like 3 big beetroots just sliced up, and I baked them at 180 for about 45 minutes or so. Nothing on them. They probably could have had a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper, but I'm going to add that at this stage. So I've got the beetroot there, and then I'm just going to grab the tofu. I'm just going to give the like block a bit of a squeeze as well to remove as much liquid as possible. And then I'm just going to crumble that into the blender with the beetroot, some olive oil, then we'll go in with some salt and pepper, and then the zest of a lemon, and we'll see what it's like with half the juice of this, and it might need the other half once we've blended it, but we'll see what it's like with half first. Give this a blend, and then we can adjust the flavours with more salt, pepper, lemon juice if we need. That needed quite a lot of blending. The bits of beetroot were being quite stubborn, but look at the colour of that. I did put the other half of the lemon in when I did a midway shake. Flavour of it is so much better. So I've just like adjusted it a tiny bit. Really nice, like very subtle acidity to it. It's a tiny like bit bitter and earthy, which may not sound like the most appetizing thing, but it's really good. It tastes so lovely. I think anyone who's plant-based, or anyone, I think people are gonna really enjoy this. So I'll put this into a Tupperware to take away. Right, now for the whipped cream cheeses. I've got so many packs of cream cheese, 16 packs. I'm going to just decant them all into KitchenAid with the whisk attachment. Whip all of this up, maybe I'll do it in 2 batches, and then I'll be able to divide that out into 3 different whips. One, I will put in some icing sugar, cinnamon, and that'll be the kind of cinnamon bun one. The other one, I'll put strawberry strawberry jam in and some crushed Biscoff biscuits. That will be the cheesecake one. And then I'll do another one, which will be the savoury one, which is the everything but. So I'll put in some dill, chives, everything but seasoning, and then there'll be those 3 different ones. That is the plan. That's 6 of the packs. Let's give those a whip first. Oh, this is looking great. Okay, we have the whipped soft cheese. Whilst that was whipping, I did think to myself, this might actually be better if I whip all the soft cheese, put it into a big Tupperware, and then just take all the separate ingredients with me and then put it all in there last minute. Because if I put stuff like gherkins, jam, and biscuits in there now, gherkins for the savoury one will probably make it wet and help make it lose its whip. The crunch from the biscuits will probably go. But if I do that closer to the time of serving, they will stay better. So change of plan. We are just going to whip everything and then construct in the office tomorrow. We have a whole tub of whipped cream cheese. So I'll see you tomorrow when we host Breakfast Club. See you in the morning. Good morning, team. We are now heading into the office. Outfit of the day is actually very officey. We have a linen H&M shirt. This is a thrifted belt, M&S linen trousers, and flip-flop shoes. Let's get set up for Breakfast Club. So we have the big roll of brown paper that we're going to lay out all over here. And then these stands that they ordered off Amazon, office managers, so all the bagels can just stack on. Let's get this roll of brown paper on, then everything can just be laid on top of that. You guys loosened it. You guys loosened it. Right, here's the final spread. Loads of different whipped cheeses here. Got the cinnamon one, all of these meats, this strawberry cheesecake one. It's turned out so well. I think we can dive in now. Go, go, go! Adam, do you want to talk through what you've gone for?
We've gone for the classic Reuben. So we've got some cheese, we've got some brocket, I think.
Yeah.
We've got some pastrami, and we've got 2 types of gherkin. You've got your classic pickled gherkins, dill pickles, and then the little cornichons as well. And then a bit of butter.
Lovely. But you guys have got a good deal going on here.
Half and half.
Half and half. Yeah. So you're going to do one, and then on your one, you've done for the classic like smoked salmon situ, right?
I have, yeah, and took some avocado on just for good measure.
Yeah, a bit of health.
Yeah.
Health. Another very successful Breakfast Club. Everyone always loves it so much. It's just so much fun to pull together too. Cookies are out. We've got someone going in for one now. Go on. Do one that's got like a nice like ridge to it. Like this one, I feel like would have a good split.
I mean, this is beautiful.
Let's get a cross section shot. Oh, look at that.
That's gorgeous.
Cookie drop off to Polly.
Oh my god.
Enjoy. Just finished, and that was such a good Breakfast Club. I feel like there was a good amount of things that people would do themselves. Just everyone seemed to really enjoy it, which was great. Let me know, like we were trying to work out, me and the office managers, what we should do for our next one, which is in late May. If you have any ideas for what we could do for a Breakfast Club, let me know. We've done things like toasties before, done like a toasty station. Obviously we did the turning the place into a cafe kind of vibe. Pancake day, we've done a granola bar before for granola day. Yeah, if you've got any ideas of what we could do, I'm sure I'll be able to pull something out of that, but would be very interested to know if there's anything that you guys would suggest as well. This evening, I'm heading to a PR event and I had a +1 for it. So I've invited Cara, who you hopefully saw on last week's vlog, and It's so exciting to be able to do things with other people in this space. I'm very excited to meet up with Cara in a bit to go to that event. It's going to be very fun. It's a cocktails and ceramics event. I won't be able to have many cocktails, hopefully I'll have some alcohol-free options. But, and if you are new here, that's because I'm on Roccatane, the acne drug. But the ceramics, very excited about it. And I'm also interested to seeing how they're going to do that, because normally you'd have to fire a piece of ceramic in order to have the final piece. So is it that we'll paint it or make it, then they'll post them to us? I don't know, stay tuned. I'm excited to see what the event's going to be like. But I've had a very generous PR invite to a place called Roti King. I have had them before, I love Roti King. Malaysian food is one of my favourite cuisines. So when they said, oh, would you like to, well, they actually invited me to an event and I couldn't make the event. So I said, oh, I'm really sorry, I can't make the event. And they said, well, would you like to just come anyway? And I was in London. The event later is only like nibbles, cocktails and canapes. So I thought this is the perfect time for me to go there, get a little bit of food before we go to the event. It's a bit of a walk. I'm going like that way, then I'll have to jump on the tube and go across town. But let's go get some Roti King. Here we are. Favourite things when I was in Bali was nasi goreng. I used to have it for breakfast every single day. It was delicious. So I might try their nasi goreng. So here we have, this is the teh o ice, so tea over ice, and it's a lemon tea. I've gone for the fish roti, so it's like the roti, which I'll show you what they're making in a second. You can see them making it, which is really cool. I'm gonna have that with a fish curry, I think. I've had the beef rendang before, so I wanna try something different. Oh, they do have a stuffed roti. Maybe I'll see if I can try one of those. And then the nasi goreng with a fried egg on top. And I've also ordered some of the fried chicken on the side, because I did love that beforehand. And then we have the teh o ice here. So it's like lemon tea over ice. Oh, that's really refreshing and sharp. That's delicious. On a day like today, that's delicious. Okay, let me show you them making the rotis, because it's so cool. So the tea was $3.95, and then we have the fish curry with the roti, and then this is the nasi goreng rice dish. The roti fish is £10.50, and then the nasi goreng is £10.95, but then a fried egg on top, £1.50. I do think this is more of a place that'd be better to get a takeaway from. When I've had it before, I had it as a takeaway. The vibe is it's a fast food place. So if you're looking for somewhere to have a speedy, tasty lunch, it's worth it. But if you're looking for a little bit more comforting food, maybe have it as a takeaway. It feels like a Malaysian Nando's in a way, if that makes sense, in terms of like the vibe, the fact that it's like fast paced, like really lovely service. The team here are really good, and I know the food is going to be amazing. But it feels, a little bit more like that kind of vibe, you know. We'll try this fish first. Oh, the sauce is really thick. I thought it'd be a lot thinner. Oh yeah, it's quite a nice sharpness to that actually. I wasn't expecting that to be so sharp. There's just so much flavour in this. This for me is the perfect hangover takeaway. And the fish is fried as well, so it's like a nice crispy texture. The rotis are just, I mean, look at that. You guys know me, and fried chicken is my biggest vice. I just can't not order it if it's on the menu. I'm definitely more of a fried chicken bone off kind of person. I think if you're going to have it on the bone, it does need to fall off quite a bit more, and this one isn't really falling off. That's really tasty. Yeah, it's as good as I remember it to be. But I do think this is better. This is a better place as a takeaway place for me, not as a sit-in and eat place. Only just for me. When I go out to eat, I personally like a little bit more of a elevated dining experience, I guess. I like a small plates kind of restaurant. If I'm going to have something like this, I'll either personally get it from a street food stand, or I'll get it as a takeaway, because that's just my personal preference. But taste for everything, very good. Delicious. I'm chasing the guy to get the prawn tempura. I'm coming after you. Amazing. So good, right? I'll come back here for the food. Food and vibes. This rooftop, if you're after a rooftop, there's like great for like gals brunch, like it's sushi, beautiful views. We've got a little bit of a sunset going on. Me rooftop, great if you're after a place like a rooftop place. Come here with the girls, have a little bit of sushi, have some wine. Delicious. Question for Cara and for you guys: when you're having sushi like this or like tempura with this, do you eat the tail?
I do know.
What made you do it?
The Portuguese fam that follow me shouted at me for not sucking the head of the prawn, and then someone said, you know, you can't eat the tail, and I was like, can you? And then I ate it once and I was like, why have I not been doing this the whole time?
I only did it when I saw someone in Japan eat the end of the tail off when the bit of the sushi with it, and I was like, okay.
Suck the heads, eat the tails, guys.
Suck the heads. You heard it here first. That's quite saucy. We've got a little bit of a setup here going, and we're with Shannon.
Hi.
Who owns called Benney Pottery, right?
Yeah, Benney Pottery.
This guy here. So we're going to be like making these kind of things over here, right?
So like coasters, little trinket bowls, little olive and tapas bowls.
If someone wanted to make that at home, what are they looking for clay-wise?
Sort of a high quality air dry clay.
Okay.
That they can use so that you don't need a kiln or anything like that. And then there's 3 main techniques that they can look up, which is pinch pot, slabbing or coiling. And
yeah,
they're like
the
the
coiling's
3
when
main
you
ways
do
to
the rolling,
it,
right?
which is a bit better for height, where if you're doing a little dish like this, pinch pot would be the best. But yeah, most air dry clays, most of the ones on Amazon, you just want to look in the description to see which ones are food safe and which ones aren't.
Does the gloss and stuff and like the glaze also impact that?
It does,
You just need to make sure you have a food safe glaze.
And something, exactly, a food safe glaze and something that completely seals it.
Okay.
Or if you don't want something for food, it's obviously a lot easier if you don't. If you're doing trinket dishes or something, just acrylic varnish.
Okay.
Which is like £6-7 on Amazon. If you don't want your housemate like washing it up and breaking it, something
Fine.
like a candle holder or trinket dish or like something ornamental, you can use anything, and you can use either UV resin or just an acrylic varnish to glaze it.
So you need the air dry clay.
Yeah.
Then you need to have the paint.
The paint, the glaze, but you can use any, if you don't need it to be food safe, any acrylic paint, and then a sponge. You don't need much else really.
I've done air dry before. It did just snap.
How quickly did it dry? Because sometimes people let it dry too quick, and that's why it's quite fragile. So it's natural. It's normally like people putting on a radiator or something. It all dry too quickly and snap. That might be why.
So you'd actually say lower and slower is better than hard and
lower and
fast.
slower. It is.
All right.
Everything's better than hard and fast.
Yeah. You heard it here first. I think I'm going to do like a girl dinner plate, but I'm going to see if I can do a little bowl sat within it. We've been given this little guide so that you don't go too thin with the clay and then it breaks, which is very handy. Right, I've now rolled the edges in. I mean, that could even stay like that, but I'm going to make it like as bubbly.
So fast.
Speedy fingers. So they call me Hope Speedy Fingers. They don't. No one does. Now like smooth this out.
So what you want to do is score and then spritz, score, and then you put it where you want it, just to mark. You can see there where you need to score.
Clever.
And then see what I mean, you just repeat that on there.
Yeah.
And then when you want to put it on there, hold firm and then just wiggle side to side as you're pushing down.
Like put them in all 3 at the same time.
And then just firm and then slowly wiggle side to side. And then just use your spatula to
Smoothen the edges.
go around the edges and adhere it into the bottom of the base.
Okay, I think I've done mine. I've done this. This could either be a dip and like nibbles situation, or olives and olive pips, or egg and soldiers. Thank you. I've realised today that I am a words of affirmation person. Anytime someone goes, "That's right, you're good," I'm like, "Thank you so much." Okay, guys, I've also made some little charms. We've got an avocado. We have, see you later, bye, lovely to meet you. A little olive, doesn't look like much, but when it's painted. A little chili, fried egg, a lemon, and then a little sardine. This is going to be my new personality. We're going to make stuff together, guys. Like, this is us now. Well, wasn't that a delight?
That was like the best event ever.
So, like, when you do something, like, I think these events where it's not just about the brand.
Yeah.
Like they're doing
experience.
It's the experience and like learn something new, learn new skill.
Yeah.
have been amazing. We'll link you below.
So glad you had fun.
So
I
much
can't wait
fun.
to see them painted.
Very therapeutic.
If you're building something with your hand, it stops your brain from like overthinking. So he was like for ADHD people, like rock climbing, like pottery, things where you're using your like hands and your mind at the same time.
We'll take this home, air dry it. We'll probably paint it in another vlog together.
Had the best time.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you for having
The first of many with Cara. Right, see you guys at home. Good morning, guys. I've got my leftover Roti King. I'm gonna have this for breakfast. I am such a savoury breakfast person. I will happily eat literally anything savoury. When we were in Mumbai, Sri Lanka, I was so happy to have the classic curries for breakfast every morning. Yesterday's event, my goodness, that was so much fun. Events where you can really do something, I think are so much fun because there was barely any, and it's pronounced Renais, by the way. And I didn't know this, but it's Emma Watson's gin brand. I had no idea, which I quite liked the fact that event, it wasn't very salesy. They didn't really say a lot about the gin, which was quite nice because it didn't feel too pushy. But then equally, there was so much stuff that I didn't know about the gin. I only just found out now, just having a little bit of a research because I wanted to hear a bit more about it. And they use old grapes from wine in France, which I think is really nice. It's like a sustainable kind of brand and all these kind of things. I just thought, oh, if I knew more about that, that would have been really good to know about. So I feel like they could have talked more about the brand and what they do and what their process is and how they got to where they were, which I don't say that a lot because sometimes, you know, you have to listen to a lot of things being said, which is interesting, but also sometimes you want to get on and do the fun event that they have planned for you. I've got my bits over here drying. I think it's going to take a while for that plate to dry. It's very thick. We'll decorate that in another vlog together. But I do think I'm going to start making air dry clay things a little bit more. I've got an idea now to make little egg holders to give to people as a little host gift with those Clarence Court eggs that I've showed you guys before. I think that would be such a lovely host gift to give people. So, oh, let me show you the bits that they gave us as well. So we had a little goodie bag too. This is the gin here. How beautiful is that bottle? So stunning. And we got a nice gin glass. That's so beautiful. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm very particular about sets of glasses. That's lovely as a gin glass, and I really like that instead of like a stemmed gin glass. I think that's really beautiful to put drink out of. But I am very picky about making sure that we have a good amount of a set of something. I really don't like having like one glass of this, one mug of this. For me, it's like a set of 6 minimum. So as beautiful as that is, and as much as I love that, I think I might include that in May's giveaway. It's very delicate, so I'll see if I can package that up in the giveaway box, okay? But maybe that's one to include in the giveaway to let someone else enjoy that instead. We also have a perfume. This is Me by Maya. The bottle is really, really nice and chic. So I'll see if I include that in the giveaway, or I might give that to a friend. I've got a friend who actually I think would really like that fragrance. Thank you so much for watching another one. Next vlog, we're going to Zakynthos. We've been 2 times before to Zakynthos. It's in Greece. The first time we went on a holiday, we stayed at an amazing hotel called the Olia All Hotels Suites. Really recommend it. It's an adult-only hotel. The vibe and the aesthetics is incredible. The breakfast is insane. Like, such a good Greek continental, it's just, and you can have like prosecco in the morning and stuff. They have a whole station so you can make your own bellinis, and all the rooms are absolutely amazing as well. So if you're after a place to go in Greece, the Olia All Hotel Suites in Zakynthos, I'll link it below. Really recommend that. But we're staying in a different place this time. Oh yeah, so we've been there once before, then we went back another time because there's a club there, a beach club called the Pagoni, is it the Pagoni Club? Pelargoni, like a members club, and the owners of that club, they live in a village where Lawrence has done the pub signage for, and they loved his pub signage, and they said, oh, can you do our house sign? Like, you know, like where it says like the 3 willows or whatever someone's house name would be called. And he did their house sign and they loved that so much. They said, oh, we actually have this members club in Zakynthos. Would you like to come by, or could you come by and do all of our signage there for us? So all of like the lose this way, ladies this way, literally every bit of signage across the beach club, and we'll comp you a stay. And Lawrence said, oh my God, yes, of course. So we did that last year and it was so lovely because they gave us a stay in one of their beautiful villas as well, which was so lovely because we normally stay in hotels, and especially going to a place like Greece or Italy or Spain where the fresh produce is so incredible and there's so many amazing food stands. I always feel like it's such a shame to not be able to go to a beautiful food market, buy some ingredients and cook some beautiful fresh dishes. So to be able to have stayed in a villa and actually do that was so lovely. And they said to him, can you come back again this year to do a few more that we need, refresh some of the ones that you've already done? So we're going back again, and we've got a couple of days in a different hotel. I can't remember the name of it, but you'll see it in next week's vlog. We thought we'd try a different one. They have two. We were booked into the adult only one, but it's not going to be open in time because it's still early on in the season. So they've put our room to the other one. It'll be interesting to see how it compares to Olia because we did love that place so much. But it's only 2 nights before we move on to the villa. So that's going to be next week's vlog. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed this one. Have a beautiful week. I'll see you in Zakynthos.